What's up, YouTube? Hope you had a decent weekend. Looking at futures, Nasdaq's red right now. Dow, S&P, they're barely green. It's a little early to really get a handle on which direction it's going to move for tomorrow because, they've only been open for about 45 minutes. And I think right now we're at a super high level of uncertainty for both sides, bulls and bears, because the markets have been brought down quite a bit. I'm still very bearish. I called out before September. I called 360 end of month. We're 357 end of month, so I was $3 shy, where a lot of people were bullish and expecting to be over 400. My year-end target is 320. I genuinely feel like it should be disastrous. It should be well nearing the low 200s. I just don't know if it'll get there end of year. Maybe September next year. But really, we're in no better position now, like not even close, than 2020 when everything all started in terms of the demic. There's certain words you cannot say on YouTube, so I basically have to call it the demic or whatever 19. So anyways, because censorship is at an all-time high, which is really terrible. It's sad to see, but that's the facts. And it was 225-ish there, give or take $10 back then. It doubled. I don't know how or why, other than the free money that was printed in 2020, 2021. The free money was a cash infusion, but I'm pretty sure most retail has lost most of that. So that's pretty much all but dried up. And that's why I believe we will see a retracement, quite frankly, back to that levels, if not even lower, because it was already high to begin with. It'd been running since 2008. That you can call that the reset, and then it kept running and just never came down. So it's due to go back down, and just so happens to be now. All that said, there was a few events that happened this weekend. You had the Tesla thing. Frankly, I was hoping that it would be more disappointing, but it seems to be a split market there as well. Frankly, the numbers look pretty good to me. They're basically in line with Ford's delivery numbers, and Ford's really been ahead of them in that regard for quite a while. But it was still considered a miss, okay? And then they're trying to blame, it's like, it was logistics. Well, logistics affects everybody. You don't get a pass because you're Tesla. It affects everybody. So, if you don't get a pass just because you're Tesla and people already want to short you because the cost to borrow is 0 and your PE is 98, then I could realistically see it dropping some more tomorrow. I'm maybe looking at opening some puts, just intraday, close them out as scalp them. I'm not looking for any big holdout. What else? We had a lot of gloom and doom around Credit Suisse, or potentially one other organization having a Lehman event of its own, which UK all of UK just avoided that, and now you got talks about Credit Suisse maybe it happening to them. Their share price was $10, a year ago, $11, and now it's like $3. Maybe even it's like $2.50. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's significantly down. Times are not good for them, and it's only going to get worse for them, I guess. Apparently they didn't hedge properly. If you know the markets are going to be going down, why are you in all longs? Where's your short positions? I don't understand. But maybe that's above my pay grade. And outside of that, I did see some real interesting news about the Vatican, which I actually still need to go home and research. 2 days isn't really long. I wish the markets, guys, honestly, I wish it was just a 4-day work week. I'd be just as productive as 5, if not better. And then 3 days, you'd have 3 days to kind of get a good grasp of what is going on in the world around us and do some research. 2 days really isn't enough. It's almost like a 7-day-a-week job, and sometimes, you need some time off. So, time is money, though, right? The Vatican said that they were going to move all their money from central banks to the Vatican. So I'm not religious, but basically how I understand it is the Vatican is like its own, it's not a country, but it's a sovereign place. Kind of like Washington, D.C., okay? It's just its own. I don't even know I don't even know what to say about it. And I mean, we're talking what? Roman Catholic wealth here, like tons of wealth, generations of wealth, generations upon generations of wealth, centuries of wealth. I don't really know what that entails when they say moving their. Are they talking about their fiat? Are they talking about like rubies and emeralds and that, what, gold? Because they have a lot of gold. I don't know what they're moving there, but clearly they are afraid of banks defaulting, and then they're left with nothing. So that is interesting. That is something that I still need to look into before tomorrow. Feel free to look into that for me and put it in the comments below. I would greatly appreciate any info you find. Provide links as well. That would be awesome. What else? So we had the Tesla event. I mean, they showcased a robot, but honestly, it's like I read a post and they were like, cool, Tesla's investing all this money, and all they've shown us is a robot that's like the same animatronics or whatever that you could have found at Disneyland 25 years ago. Which it's true, the thing didn't really do much. It opened and it picked up an empty water jug and moved left and right. It's literally like you go to a traveling circus, a traveling fair, like a traveling carnival, and you're gonna see like fun houses that have animatronics that can do that shit. So I don't know how that was anything, special. And it's also something interesting of note is Elon just not long ago, very recently, told us how bad things were going to be and how much worse they were going to get. And now he's kind of trying to sound bullish. And on the same token, everyone is like all excited about these robots. But are you getting the big picture here? These robots aren't just going to be supplementary. They're going to be replacements for physical people. You're going to actually damage the economy putting all of this robotics into place. You're going to have people's, granted, these are going to be tasks or jobs that are for, not necessarily well-educated positions. You can have a doctor doing a manual labor job because of hard times or something, okay? I'm not saying that. But generally speaking, these repetitive task, factory, labor-style jobs, they're for people who maybe just get experience versus going to a school and having, PhDs and stuff, okay? You're going to replace the lowest class of people. So what are they going to do? They're already the lowest class of people. How's this a good thing for anyone? This is a super bad thing for local economies. I would imagine the homeless numbers are going to skyrocket when this actually... I mean, we've known robotics is happening for a long time, but I don't think anybody's really taken much steps to address, what are these people supposed to do? They just say, oh, get training and do... But it's not all roses out there. You can't just go to school and get your job. I did it for 2 years in a very specific niche field in oil sands production, in oil production. And I couldn't even get a job because of legislation at the time and policy. And, and hiring freezes. Most companies were in a hiring freeze when I graduated. I never wound up even getting the job there. I had to go and do my own thing, and now I'm a trader, right? So, it is going to be bad. I don't see how that's going to be a net positive, because robots don't pay taxes. Robots, you're going to have a few jobs created for like technicians who have to come in and fix them. Things like that. Parts manufacturers. I don't know. Is there an endless supply of metals and alloys and everything needed for these things as well? Can you replace, like, put it like humans, okay? You can create a human through love or not. The human can grow up on a diet of any number of things, and then they can be a productive member of society. Or you could actually you could convert what someone does into like newtons, which is a measurement of work, okay? You could figure out what someone could output as work. Whereas these robots, it's like, we only have so much materials and resources for these things regardless. So they're not necessarily a real answer to anything. When you're looking at global warming, mining is horrendous, okay? When there's a plethora of things that's just people aren't even considering, and they're trying to make it bullish. And honestly, I can see a lot of negative things here, a lot of downside, and a lot of unsustainability, first and foremost, much like their delivery numbers. I said, yeah, they matched Ford now, but it's not sustainable, I don't think, in the long term. Because demand has been going up, but so are their prices, and their quality is actually going down. And, you know, there's only so many people interested in EVs that cost $60, $70, $80, $100, $210,000, when there's cars out there that they can buy a used car for $5,000. Go and buy a used EV. It's impossible. It doesn't matter, because you need to replace the battery, and the battery is the largest expense of the whole thing. Nothing else. So yeah, you can buy it for what, 20, 25,000. You know, good luck. You can buy it for cheap, and maybe you'll get a year out of it. Maybe you'll have drastically reduced range. So even the used versions aren't that great. Putting that aside, I guess we'll see what Tesla does in the morning. It's going to be real choppy. I was thinking about puts on it, but it's going to be a wait and see. At least like half an hour after open before you really get a good idea of which way is this thing going to go. Okay? Because there's not going to be any sort of guarantees there. It could pop the first 15 and then drop like a rock. And the exact opposite. It could drop like a rock and then pop after the first 15. So I'm not touching that at all tomorrow. Going into earnings this week, I'm looking at Levi's as a short. It's again way down. It's actually expected to have good earnings. Okay, positive earnings. So high risk there, because it's expected to do well. The only issue for me with all of these companies is, one, that's a retail company, so it's not, it's on the bottom of the necessities list. You need food, water, clothing, right? Pavlov's triangle of whatever. You don't need Levi's jeans, okay? You can get whatever you want, and you can just wear stuff you've had for like 5-10 years. It doesn't matter. Also with that, okay, what else? So their retail forward earnings. This has been the issue with a lot of companies right now. Forward earnings, okay? Sorry, I'm just entering a parking lot. It's changed a bit since the last time I was here. So forward earnings are looking quite bad for pretty much every company. So that is one other reason I'm looking at Merck. Sorry, not Merck. McCormick. Okay, it's like a food company, Flavor or something. Really, it's a really big, it's a big cap company that is kind of again supposed to post earnings, but they're going to be down from previous year. It was like 80 cents, and now they're looking at like 69 cents or something like that. Okay, so they're supposed to be basically not doing well either. All these big companies, Walmart, Carnival, Nike, they dropped hard. The puts dropped hard, and you made a ton of money on those plays. So if those are dropping hard, I would imagine McCormick also drops. So I'm looking at McCormick. Okay, if you join my Discord, I have a calendar linked up in the resources section. I have a whole bunch of stuff linked up in the resources section. Okay, check that out. Makes it easy. We had quite a few people join this week, so that was awesome to see. It's growing, so I don't know. I might need like a mod, a permanent mod to come on and help me out. We'll see. I have no issues giving you free access if you're really good with Discord. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So those are the two plays. We're talking Levi's and McCormick. That's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Keeping an eye on all the banks, and then next week, BlackRock. I believe it's BlackRock reports Monday, I want to say, and then Friday, a whole bunch of banks will be reporting. That's going to be a week for me to watch. There's another one in there. That's going to be for my Discord people. I will tell YouTube about it next week. Discord people already know. They already know. They got to know. But yeah, if BlackRock posts like a bad quarter, all the other ones are going to fall in line right away. Probably same day. Jump in on those right away. Ride those down. Close it out before the day's out. And then look to next week. Look to Friday to also pull up, a Thursday before close, enter. And then whoever reports in the morning before market open, close it out. And then whoever is reporting after hours Friday, you buy it just before close, and then close it out on Monday. It's going to be sucky because it's going to be a weekend hold, but they should all be in line. They're all basically the same. Most companies in sectors are performing the same way. There is very few outliers in these sectors, right? All of car manufacturers have had issues with distribution and with the chips. Okay, all the semiconductor companies have had issues with getting out their chips, and they're not allowed to send them to China and stuff like that now. So, retail, same thing. Labor shortages, X19, forward outlooks looks grim, reduced interest, right? Also, sector by sector, things typically performing the same way across the board. So that next Monday is going to be super good. Thanks for checking me out. I know it was a bit of a long one, but I try to recap kind of the whole week because I've been doing a lot less YouTube videos, just in general, and focusing more on trading and on the Discord, which is like the fam now. All right, so we will see you guys tomorrow.